Yo guys, what's going on? This is Yorkiemann here, and today I'm going to be helping you guys out again. Since it went down so well last time, I'm going to be giving you another 4 teams to manage here on PES 2021 in the Master League. Now, of course, bear in mind when I show you these teams, I am using the Virtua Red mod. I'm using some other mods, some career mode boost mods. So there's going to be some little extras that I have that you might not have. I will link all the mods I use down below in case you want to check them out. They're very, very easy to input as well. And if you're looking for a way to do it, Spoonie Pizzas, he's your man. But anyway, guys, just before we jump into team number 1, if you are new around here, please smash that subscribe button, as well as hitting the like button if you go on to enjoy the video. A lot of you around here aren't subscribed, so I thought it was about time that you do subscribe. Team number 1. Team number 1 is, of course, going to be Arsenal. Yes, I've memed here. I've put Frank Lampard in charge, but let's be honest, he'd probably do a better job right now than Arteta. Arsenal are in the mud. I've never seen the downfall of a top 4, 6 or 4 side ever in history. I grew up, Arsenal were always an unbelievable team. I remember the Invincibles. Look how the mighty have fallen, and they need rescuing. Oh boy, do they need rescuing. And you could be their savior. It was near impossible for me to pick any other English side at the moment because, I mean, most people are talking about Arsenal as a relegation team. When we set up to do the new Master League, and I was picking teams, people even recommended Arsenal as a relegation candidate kind of side that we take on. Now, we will take a quick look at the squad, and I'll be honest with you, they should perform far better. PES actually told me that I have to get Champions League football was the lowest I could suggest, and winning the league was, of course, what they wanted me to go with. That probably won't happen here in season 1, but you certainly should do a lot better than they've done already in real life, although I do think they'll turn it around a little bit. I'm quite impressed with those transfers, and that's where we kick this one off. Now, I'm using a mod that inputs new transfers, but it won't have all of them, so maybe go in and just add the rest yourself. They've done some okay business, in my opinion. I know some people will question it, but I think down the line, their business has been all right. And in my opinion, by no stretch of the imagination, is this a weak side. This is actually a very good team. You're aging in a few areas, but you've got so much good youth. Sell Granit Xhaka, please. Sell Granit Xhaka. Aubameyang, Thomas Partey as well, man. This guy, when he comes back into the team, is going to be a beast. Lacazette, Leno, Pepe. Can you get the best out of Pepe? Because we're yet to see it, but I think he's good. Bellerin, I think, went out on loan in real life anyway. So, again, you're going to be moving some of these players in, but look at some of the youth you've got. Saka at 83 at 19. This man is a beast. Torreira went out as well, I think. William ripped up his contract. What a man. But Rob Holding's a decent player as well. You've got Kieran Tierney, Gabriel to come back into the team, Ben White. This is a strong squad that you're starting out with. And now I know that a lot of people will pick faults at this Arsenal squad, but this is not a bad team, especially on PES. If you're starting with Arsenal, I expect you to at least be getting Europe in season number 1. And if you aren't getting Europe in season number 1, there's something seriously gone wrong, because this is more than good enough of a side. Now, if you are using the mods that I use, these young players will grow 1,000,000 times more than they normally would do on PES, which is great to see because they've got some players already that will play well. You might be seeing some more players in this team like John Joels and stuff that might not be in the game already. It is probably because of the mods, but the first team I want you to try and use is Arsenal. Now, I went with normal budget, so we will take a cheeky look at what budget you'll be given. 100 million. That is a lot of money. Now, it's 5 million because I did yearly, but 100 million, that's a lot of cash for you to play around with, considering the players you've already got. Maybe move someone on. Maybe move one of the big guys on up top. Lacazette and Aubameyang haven't really done it for Arsenal now in the last year or so. Maybe it's time for them to move on and you bring in new players. Arsenal's a perfect save for you to do if you're hanging around and waiting for eFootball to come out, especially the Master League for eFootball, which will be a while yet. Arsenal would just be a great save for you to pick up and play. Now, team number 2. I just cannot stop memeing. Luis Figo is at Barcelona, and that will be team number 2. Of course, how could I leave Barcelona off of this list? I imagine Barcelona is on most people's lists at the moment because of the absolute mess that they are in financially. The fact that they couldn't even register some players. Messi's left. It's a whole big mess. Life after Messi. I mean, just life at Barcelona right now is pretty difficult, but they still have a pretty decent team. So can you turn things around? Now, I did make one solid mistake with this one. I gave them a good budget. I would give them the smallest budget you can humanly possibly work with if you're doing this save. Do not give yourself any... I think you can give very low. Do very low as the budget. You want the least amount of money as humanly possible because Barcelona do not have that money. So if I was starting this again, I would have changed the budgets. I would make it a low amount of money. But there's a key reason why we should be Barcelona. One, they've got a lot of old players. Don't get me wrong, but they've got some really good young players as well. And I love Memphis Depay. So any opportunity to use Memphis Depay, I am going to always recommend that. In the last video we did, you got to use Memphis Depay as well because I chose Leon. Now, Memphis Depay, obviously, I think he's brilliant. Sergio Aguero, you'll probably get a couple of good seasons out of him. I wish I had the blonde hair in here. I don't know why. I just kind of do. But what you're going to really have to do here for me is move on the old and start using the youngsters. You've got to use these youngsters. Now, Mariba left, so you'd have to probably let him go, but they've signed Yusuf Demir, who's an unbelievable Austrian wonder kid, 17 years of age. You've got Ansu Fati, Pedri, Mingo, Escobar, Eric Garcia is now in the team, Sergio Dest, Arajo, Emerson Royal is left, so sell him, Rui Pugui. You know, this team is stacked with good young players, and that's what they need to do now. They need to be bringing through these young players again. It's been a long time since they did that, and they need to just make this team a little bit younger. Ousmane Dembele, could he be good for them? Could he be? Could he? No, probably not. He'd probably get injured in the first season. But that is potentially what I would do here, is I would look at these young players and I would use them. I would also use the youth system in this. I would also, I like to use that word today, would also try my best to just sign young players for very little and move on the big players. Forget about this big wage culture that is at Barcelona at the moment. And when I'm talking about young players, there's a lot of old players here as well. 33-year-old Gerard Piqué, 32-year-old Busquets, Sergio Aguero's 32, Neto's 30, he's a goalkeeper, it doesn't matter. Jordi Alba, 31, Pjanic, 30, Sir Martin Braithwaite, best player in the game, don't at me. Griezmann as well has left the club now, so you'd have to move him on. I know it was a loan, but I think the fee for Atletico Madrid to sign him at the end of the loan is absolutely peanuts. Start moving these guys on and build through with the youth. I think that's the best way to do a Barcelona save at the moment, although there's several ways to do it. And let's be honest, this is probably going to be your last Master League, so whichever way you find most enjoyable, do it that way. Team number 3, and this time we ain't memeing, because I love this man. Gasperini's style of football is unbelievable. And Atalanta now, season after season, have been progressing and getting Champions League football. Now, granted, I'll have to beat Celtic if I want to get into Europe in this one. But it just shows you the growth of Atalanta in what is quite a stacked Italian league. I have to be honest with you. This is a good Italian Serie A league. And Atalanta have been brilliant in it. They even went on and beat Liverpool. So I couldn't help but put them on the list. Now today, we will take a cheeky look at how much money they're going to have. It's a decent budget, but I mean, Atalanta work under a strict budget anyway. They always have done. They're not a rich team, and nor should you feel rich when you're there. Can you carry on Gasperini's legacy? The man's getting on a bit now. He's got to retire at some stage, right? And sit back and smoke some Cubans and enjoy himself. Maybe this is the time that you take over the reins and lead Atalanta just that step further to winning Serie A gold. Is it a trophy gold? I don't actually know. But anyway, we'll look at the squad list. Now, remember, you might have to make some transfers here. I'm not fully sure who left and who's there. This is just the squad that I have for them at the moment with some transfers already done. Zapata is a beast. He's 29, but you've easily got 2 or 3 seasons out of this guy. Maybe even more. He's rapid as well. You've got Goossens, who was, for me, a standout player in this Atalanta side for the longest of times. And I'm quite surprised that he hasn't gone anywhere in real life because he's so good. You've got Ilic as well. 32, though, getting on a little bit. Lucas Muriel. Muriel used to be the man with all the pace on FIFA. I remember back in the day. I'm sure it was probably similar on PES. He's rapid. Is he still rapid now? 85. He's nowhere near as quick as he used to be, but he's still very quick with brilliant dribbling. This is a very good team. I'm not going to lie. Musso in net. You've got Rafael Toloi, who's 30 now. Darun, 29. Freuler. This is a good team. Just all round, this is a decent team. They must have loaned Demirel, unless they signed him. I haven't seen this deal. Unless they signed Demirel, but if they did sign him, that's absolutely brilliant. They've got Alessi Miranchuk, Hateboer. Hateboer's actually a very good player. I like the look of him in real life. LA, who's the Danish fullback. This is just a good team. Sportiello as well. Lammers. It's a decent team. If you can't do some damage with this side, then I would be absolutely shocked. You're probably going to have to bring a few players in. Definitely, if you want to play wingers, you'll have to bring some players in as well. But I imagine if you're playing as this team, why not play free at the back? I'm pretty sure he plays Goossens as a wing back, as well as playing Hatterbohr as a wing back. So I imagine that is how you'd want to do it with 3 centre backs. You know, you've got Demiral, Duramitzi, and Toloi to play those centre back positions. So really doing free at the back would work wonders. You could play Mele as a wing back as well. I love Atalanta. I love this team. I like the kit. And I think I probably like the kit for the wrong reasons because I'm an Inter fan, but this is how I wish the Inter kit looked this season. I just genuinely like this team, and they could easily be taken to the next step. They genuinely could be. I think you could take this team easily to Serie A glory within a couple of seasons. And you might only want to do a couple of seasons, but try and win the Champions League as well. I don't think Atalanta have ever won the Champions League. In fact, I'm pretty positive they haven't. Maybe it's their time now. Fourth and last team on the list, boys, is Eintracht Frankfurt. Now, Frankfurt finished 5th last season, a point behind Wolfsburg. And I was tempted to do Wolfsburg, but I just love Frankfurt. Fell in love with them when they had Sebastian Haller and Luka Jovic up top. And I've enjoyed watching them ever since. Since the Bundesliga went to BT Sport, it's been a lot easier for me to watch them. And now they're on Sky, so I can keep watching them. They're just a great team to watch. Now, I don't know if that's going to happen throughout the years. Adrian Silva last year was a beast, though. And I'm hoping that Frankfurt can continue just finding these gems of strikers out of nowhere, or maybe strikers that haven't performed elsewhere, but then they perform so well for Frankfurt. But unfortunately, in this, you won't have Europe. I don't have Europe, not even Europa League, which they do have in real life, which is a shame. But still, regardless, this is a fantastic team to be building up to hopefully try and challenge and be Bundesliga champions. Now, again, money-wise, this is going to be the tightest and hardest budget you'll have if you pick any of these 4 teams, unless you give Barca the lowest budget possible. Well, I still think they'll have more money than this just because of the way the system works. But again, this is going to be a build. You're not going to do this in the space of 1 season. You're going to have to slowly build up. You're going to have to bring in good players. Let's take a look at the team they've got already at your disposal. Now, remember, there may be some players here that have left the club. I am not fully sure of their transfer business. This is just updated till, I think, about the 20th of August. It was updated to. You've got Kostic, brilliant player, absolutely fantastic. Watched him a lot, really like him. You're solid in net. You've got Kevin Trapp, but the big one for me will Rafael Santos Borja, who I'm a fan of. I've signed him a lot on Football Manager, all right? Played for River Plate. I think they got him on a free. I can't remember though. Will Rafael Santos Borja be that next big star striker? They had Haller. They had Jovic, who they signed from Benfica and then sold for a mint load to Real Madrid and has really done nothing since. And then Adrian Silva as well. Is he the new superstar striker? Can you make him that? That's going to have to be the task, because Frankfurt tend to always be able to achieve that with a striker. The kits are nice as well. I think when you're picking a team, a kit really matters. Kamada, a really good young Japanese player. I've actually watched him a few times now and he's very exciting. You've got Evan Dicker as well, 21-year-old centre-back. Fantastic player. Sao as well, 23 years of age. There's some good young players in this team, and then there's some great older players. I genuinely think if you do pick Frankfurt to start out, you're going to have a really fun time building this team up. And Jens Peter Hauge, I'm surprised that AC Milan let him go. I genuinely think, though, that you're going to have a great time with this team. The Bundesliga is a fun league to manage in as well. I have to be honest with you. We had Dortmund in the last one, and there's a reason why I picked the Bundesliga again. Is because I think it's a really good league and an enjoyable league and a competitive league as well, because there's a lot of good teams in this league, and it will not be easy for you to be successful. That's going to be it, boys. A quick overview of teams I think you should be managing on PES 2021 before we will eventually get Master League for eFootball 2022, it's called now. I appreciate the support as per usual. If you went on to enjoy this video, mate, well, if you made it this far, let's be honest, smash the thumbs up button, hit subscribe as well, boys. I've been Yorkiemann. I'll see you later. Check out the Master League content on the channel.